Hi, and welcome to season 2 of Gabbing with Gabby. And this is episode 1. And today you're going to meet my super cool friend, Lisa Bauer. She is the senior sales director with Mary Kay. She's also a Group X instructor, which is how I met her, of course, in a gym. She's a military mom, and she has 3 kids, 3 grandchildren, personal trainer, has made a DVD. She's Mary Kay Rhino. I mean, name it, she's done it. She's put her mind to it. She's made it happen. Thank you, Lisa, for being here with me today. We met 10 years ago.
Crazy.
Which again, I do this every time. Like, hey, talking with my friends, hey, when did we meet? And then we figure out the numbers and we're always astonished. Oh my gosh, 10 years ago, 10 years ago at being, not being fit, for women only in Poway, which is a great gym. And we taught together there. And then one day I said, Lisa, I need some stuff for my face. It needs to be quick. It needs to be easy. It needs to be cheap. And it's not, that wasn't really, that was like a very low request, but it's like really for me, it needed to be quick and easy because I don't ever wear makeup. And I knew I needed to take care of my skin. And my mother used Mary Kay when I was a kid. And she told me when I said, Mom, because my mom and my grandmother and my aunt, they all have really great skin. And she said, I say go for Mary Kay. She told me, if you can get someone who gets Mary Kay, I really like that. So I called you, Lisa. I need help. Quick, easy, go.
And you called me.
I called you on your pink phone and you answered. So you have a really great story. You've been with Mary Kay for a very long time. And I think it'd be really inspiring for people to hear your story and just how this became your life. And this is it. You, like you said, you hustled and you keep hustling. And this is a success story. And I think it's really inspiring for other people to hear. So please tell us your Mary Kay story. And then we'll get into how fitness relates to that as well a little bit later. But the mic is yours, sister. Go ahead and tell us.
Well, sounds good. Well, Gabby, thank you for having me as your guest with Gabbing with Gabby. I love the title. Yay. And I just love you. And I love your new hair. It's just great. I love the color. It's fabulous. And Gabby's a great fitness instructor. And it was a real privilege for me to come on her show and just tell my story. And I love the fact of it's just kind of normal people. I'm just a normal person. Yeah. Mary Kay always said, an extraordinary person is just a woman with an extraordinary amount of determination. And I think I think everybody has that sleeping giant within them. And sometimes it's like Jim Rohn would say, you're probably going to hear me mention Jim Rohn quite a bit, but he was really a business mentor that really changed my life along with Mary Kay Ash. And he said, really people only change from inspiration or desperation. And so I think that's true. It's probably a little bit of both. And how I was introduced to Mary Kay, I'm from Kansas City. I grew up there. I've worked at a gym since I was 19. And when I worked at probably my second gym, I've been around the fitness world forever. I'm kind of one of those people, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this, some can relate to this, some cannot, where I like to do a lot of different things. I'm an art music person. And I love fitness. Jack LaLanne was my inspiration. He worked out with a chair and his
Jack
dog.
LaLanne.
Jack LaLanne. He worked out with a chair and his dog, just like Gabby's dog is absolutely adorable. So we can work out with Duke and a chair, and it really is inspirational.
He's right here.
Yeah, I remember I watched Jack LaLanne as a kid with my mom, and he literally had his German Shepherd there. His name was Hap for Happy. And a chair.
Oh.
And I have my old original Jack LaLanne books. And I don't know whatever got me into that. Well, a little bit too. My grandfather was a bodybuilder. This will be interesting because some of you are me watching this in California. So my grandfather was a bodybuilder. My mom was born in Los Angeles because he was stationed there after World War II. He was an official photographer in World War II. So his territory, it makes me always think about all those pictures that he took, and it was in the Pacific Theater of World War II, and they settled a little bit in California for a while. Well, he did all these muscle stunts on Venice Beach. That's
Oh
kind of stuff
yeah,
he
on Muscle
did.
Beach right there.
Muscle Beach, that's what
Yeah.
they did. And I have amazing old pictures of him and I can't find him. Well, I have some pictures of him. He fenced, he looked like Jack LaLanne. He was very muscular, very well built. And I don't know, maybe that, I mean, I think that inspired me as a kid. But Jack
Yeah.
LaLanne truly inspired me, but you'll probably find this funny, but I hated gym class. Anybody else hate gym class? Oh God. I still have my
At
gym
school gym
shorts.
class?
I'm like a hoarder.
Oh,
I
get
save
rid of
everything.
them. Get rid of them.
I know I should bring up my old gym shorts. It has my name. I mean, they put you in the most hideous gym clothing when I was a kid, and when I was in junior high, I hated it. So I didn't like gym class. I wasn't like weak, but I really liked playing tennis, and so I loved that. But they didn't have it at my school, so I had to do all my fitness stuff, kind of my what was fitness to me, out of the school. And I used to
Yes.
do Pilates at home, Gabby. Oh yeah, to the Bee Gees albums. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Bee
Oh yeah,
Gees.
staying alive, staying alive. It's a great beat. We can really pulse to that beat. And I
Yeah,
remember all this
right.
stuff. So when I was 19, as soon as I get a job, where did I go? I went to work in a gym. So I did. And then I went and worked at a second gym, Gold. And there was this woman that pulled up she had a pink Regal. And I was like,
Okay.
I don't know. I think I was almost 20. Okay. So she says, well, I make 30,000 a year and I drive a pink car and I have a maid. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty good, you know. And I've always had 2 or 3 jobs. I'm a worker. I'm not going to apologize for that. I've always been a hustler. You know, if you snooze,
Yes.
you lose people. If you don't hustle in life and expect everybody else to do it for you, you're going to be really disappointed. Okay. So I was working at the gym. I also was working for Clinique. Oh yeah. So I was already I got hired
Clinique.
for Clinique, and I wanted to go to cosmetology school, which I did. But then I worked in a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, a cocktail waitress with it's 5-star restaurant with my sleazy cocktail dress. Oh yeah, I did that too. Oh yeah, I did that.
I remember
I did
that
that
story.
too.
Okay.
So, for people that are watching this, usually you have a lot of jobs going on. Got all this stuff. And this was
Mm-hmm.
BC before children. Okay. So, she comes in the gym and I thought, well, she was really attractive. And her car looked kind of cool. And I thought, well, kind of neat. So I went to her home and I thought, well, she's got a nice house and she had cats and it wasn't dirty. I guess she does have a maid. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. Okay. And I was working for the other company and I went to this function and I honestly thought these broad skin looked good. That was my first impression. I thought their skin looked good. And I was young. I mean, everybody's skin looks good when they're 20. Come on, let's get real. Okay. But these were, I don't know, I guess she was 30 something, I'm assuming. And I thought, well, their skin really looked good. And I actually bought a kit for $60 and I used everything out of it. I did nothing with my business. True story. This is all the truth. And I still was working for a Clinique for like $4 an hour at Macy's. Okay. It was not, it sounds glamorous. And then I decided to go to cosmetology school, which I did. I still kept up my license. I cut hair for a little while. There's really not much story about that. I knew I never wanted to do
Okay.
that, stand on my feet all day. It was not for me. I kept it up.
Right.
And so I was exposed to it in Kansas City, got a kit, used everything out of it. My face felt good. I didn't do anything in my business. And also too, I failed to mention there was a husband in there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's got to have a couple of those. So yeah, there was one of those. Yeah, I mean, Abby's interviewing real people. So, okay. And then we were having a lot of issues, real people, right? So I didn't do anything in my business. Fast forward. Okay. I get to Virginia and then we're on husband number 2. Oh yeah. Okay. And so I'm working in another gym, I won't go all the sort of details, but
Yeah.
you're young and you just like, I don't know, but I've always been a hard worker. Okay. I've always been a hard
Yes.
worker. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people think, why can't I find the things I want to do? And it is tough to
Mm-hmm.
find. I mean, I've kind of pretty much not changed. I still play the piano and the guitar and
Mm-hmm.
I still in the fitness world. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And the beauty business was fun, but I sure didn't like working behind the counter. That wasn't very fun. But the beauty business
Mm-hmm.
is fun. It's not, your worst day in Mary Kay, as I've said, is just like, so somebody cancels on you, big deal. You'll get another face. It's
Right.
really, it's not like devastating. And
Mm-hmm.
so I recruited myself in. I was working at the gym in Virginia Beach. I wore Blue Lagoon spandex and I had no money. Oh yeah. I was pregnant with Stephanie. 7
What
months. And I
year
had
was
Blue
this?
Lagoon spandex. I remember the spandex? It was tight.
I do remember. What year was this?
This was in
Is this
87.
80s? I
Yes,
think
this
I
was
owned a
87.
pair of those as well.
87. Blue
Yes,
Lagoon
I
spandex, and
definitely
this girl
owned
had
spandex.
yeah, it was spandex. I mean, I was just a vision to behold, and I was working in the back and doing the programs and stuff, you know.
Right.
And this girl had her card on the bulletin board there, and I was like, I called up and I said, Susie, I don't want a facial. I just want to come back into Mary Kay. But she was a great consultant. She gave me a makeover. Her director was in Hawaii. I recruited with her like in within 2 or 3 days. My husband at the time thought it was a stupid decision. So stupid. And I'm so glad I didn't listen to him. So if anybody's listening to my story, please don't listen to stupid people or broke people. You know, and sometimes people don't have your best interest. And I'm so glad that I don't let other people destroy your dreams. Don't let it, and if
No,
it's your
right.
own mate or your mother-in-law or your mother, you really have to decide to live your life. And I'm an only child,
Mhm.
so I was kind of what's the word, you know, kind of smothered a little bit, but I had good parents,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
but a little bit a little protective. And but it was like I wanted to do that. I waited tables a lot also. I wait, you know, in my
Mhm.
cocktail dress, but I waited a lot of restaurants. I've done a lot of stuff, but it taught me how to make a lot of money in a short period of time. And so
Mhm.
sales is the
Mhm.
highest paid profession. I was like, I like the beauty business. I understand the concept. I get it. I can do the math. So I joined. I didn't listen to him. Thank God I didn't. I'm going to fast
Mhm.
forward. You know, started out very small, had Stephanie. She was born December 14th. She'll be 33. And then
Mhm.
I wanted to become a director, a sales director. I wanted the whole pie and I wanted to own a car. I never had a nice car. I drove a brown Stanza and I was sick of it. I was sick of it. And so I wanted to become a director and get a car, and I did. And I had Amanda in the middle of that qualification to get those things. And then
Okay.
uh, he left me. Yeah, the second number two. So he leaves me 4 months after I make
Okay.
director. I'm on this, you know, career high. He leaves.
Yeah.
Stephanie's 2, and Amanda's 8 months. And I'm telling you what, that was horrible. And then my mom's terminally ill that I didn't know. I'm only child, so
Oh.
it was a really rough time. And I know that anyone watching this is going to be like, I can relate to that because especially now, there's a lot of people going through a rough time. And I mean,
Mhm.
it was a horrible time in my life. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't know how I got through it, Gabby. I really don't. I look back at that.
Mm.
It was like it was by the grace of God I got through it because you're trying to motivate other people, and you can't. You're crying on the inside. Your world is falling apart. It sucked. I mean, and a lot of people have my same story, same deal,
Mhm.
and worse. You know, and it was awful. And so when he left and ran off with this other gal and her kids, oh yeah, it just got real great. But I did have a great
Mm.
lawyer and I could pay for that, thank God.
Yes.
And you know, the funny thing is, you probably didn't know this, but we're here to just kind of talk funny thing. So when he was Don McCarty was my divorce attorney, he said, "Oh, guess what? Tom Cruise is going to make a movie about me." I'm like, "Well, I want to meet Tom Cruise." I was like, "What?" So this movie, A Few Good Men, which is classic, was made about his story as a JAG officer in Guantanamo Bay. And I never got to meet Tom, and I don't think he ever
Oh,
did either. He was my divorce attorney. Isn't that great? Well, it's a fun
that's
factoid.
amazing.
A fun
You were so
factoid.
close.
I know, so
So
close to
close.
meeting Tom. I was like, gosh darn it. I could have been Mrs. Cruz number whatever, 10 or whatever. But it was kind of funny. So yeah, that was my divorce attorney. And thank God I had not let someone destroy my dreams. And it
Mhm.
really took me about 2 years to engage back after I lost my mom, because when you go through grief, you really
Mhm.
don't know how to process that. And sometimes we need, and this is just, I think, good, you know, good motivation for anybody. And not think it's weird, but you need negative motivation sometimes. But what I
Mhm.
mean by that is my ex-husband gave me that negative motivation. Okay. He said something that was
Right.
like, I'm going to get back in the game. The good news is that I met my next husband, a younger, new, improved version at that command. And so, I mean, that's truth. He was 19. I was a cougar when cougars weren't cool because I was 29. I was like, "How old are you, Brad?" I said, "Are you 20 something?" He goes, "Yeah, something like that." And I was like, "Oh, he was not. He was
Oh, how
19."
funny.
It is funny. So we had Andrew together. We got married in 92. He adopted the girls. And you know, I can tell you, and I'm very proud of his naval career. So he's been in the Navy for 33 years. And when
Yes.
he made commander, 2 years ago with the Pentagon, we had a ceremony and the Secretary of the Navy was in there. And this was really cool. And Gabby doesn't probably know about this, but he said in front of all these people in the Secretary of the Navy, he said, well, I've learned so much from my wife's Mary Kay business. And he, oh yeah.
I just got the chills. I just got the chills. I really
He
did.
did. And, you know, and he really has, y'all, because Mary Kay Ash was a unique woman. She was a wonderful person. She was funny. She was just such a visionary. She's up there with, you know, Walt Disney. And she got tired of working with men and she wanted to start her own company. And she was just everything all of her wisdom, you know, is so true today. It's really relevant, which will kind of morph into another thing about how, you know, this crazy situation has affected my business. But she has rules for life that I learned that without that, I don't think I could have survived as well. And I embrace those rules, and they're timeless, you know. But he learned a lot, and it was together that we were able to, you know, navigate 10 years of sea duty and all that stuff. So yeah, I've been a military wife for a long time, and it's been tough at times. And we were in San Diego, but I'm so glad I went to San Diego because I would have met Gabby.
That's right. How we met.
That's how we met.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
When did Mary Kay start her business? When did this her vision become?
She started on November the 13th, 1963.
Wow. Okay, and then you got into it officially. What year was that when you
August 6th of 87, recruited myself back in. I was in it, remember, for a brief and illustrious time in 1980.
Yes.
For about
you used all the products.
I didn't do anything.
You used all the products, didn't bother selling them or recruiting anyone else. But then you went back to it in 87. And how long did it take you to become a director?
2 years.
2 years. Did you get the car at that time as well?
Yep, I earned a Grand Am.
What was your first car?
Grand Am, and I had big poofy hair.
Was it pink?
No, it was maroon. It was the maroon Grand Am for consultants. That was my first car. But I was a director, and we had to earn a car at that time before we became a director. So that was the first level of that car program. So that was my first one. I always wanted a pink Cadillac. Everybody wants a pink Cadillac, and everybody asks you if you have a pink Cadillac. I'm like, no, I'm working on it. I'm working on that pink Cadillac. Yeah, but it was a Grand Am.
And do you have a pink Cadillac?
I do, and it's awesome. It is beautiful. I just picked up a 2021 XT6 3 weeks ago, and
I remember I saw the pictures.
When I get in the car, honestly, Gabby, I'm always like, wow, I'm so grateful that Mary Kay Ash created opportunity. There's not a lot of things out there that have the opportunities. And the other thing is, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, you got to work really hard. Well, everybody works really hard at something. It's not any different than any other job. You got to work really hard at anything. I mean, people that I know that are successful, they're working hard at something. I mean,
yes,
it's a job. I mean, it's fun, but it's a job, you know?
I think the difference is people may not have the same passion that you do. So that's why to them, it looks like it's hard work.
Right.
To you, it's partly fun. This is fun for you. You love talking with people. You love educating people. You're a very people person. And, you know, you got into, you know, not got into it, but your fitness helps feed your Mary Kay business. But now here we are in our new normal, right? What happens? What happens to your business? What happens to fitness? What happens to Mary Kay? What did you have to do?
Right.
So how did you adapt?
Great question, because and Gabby's right. You know, the fitness business, to me, they're like my worlds are very similar. Now I say it in a funny way. House of Beauty, House of Pain. They're very interconnected because what draws me to Mary Kay, what drew me was exactly what Gabby said. And you know, Mary Kay's mission, the company's mission, is to enrich women's lives. My mission statement, it's really the same. I want to be that go-to person really for both, because of both of my worlds, as I'm in your amen corner for my customers / fitness. They're very connected, because a lot of my customers, they're at the gym. I personally, or they're my own studio. So it's very similar. And when this hit, you know, the fitness business has been almost destroyed. And so again, I was grateful. I mean, was it scary for us? Yes. in our Mary Kay world, what it did for us is it's kind of like that book. And if you don't have this book, everybody, you should get Who Moved My Cheese, because the cheese is moved a lot. And the
Mm-hmm.
reality is that the cheese is always moving. We may not think about that, but that book is about change. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
constant but change. And as much as we all are creatures of habit, just like if you go to the gym and you take a class, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. You have your yoga mat in the same spot and you park in the same spot in the parking lot when you go to the grocery store because it feels comfortable and it's your spot. And so none of
Yeah.
us, no matter what personality style that we are, we don't like change. And this was a huge disruption. Now, I agree with what Darren Hardy said, and he lives in San Diego, one of his houses. He said you can either
Mm-hmm.
thrive or survive. And I thought, well, I'm going to survive. And so
Mm-hmm.
and I started seeing people in person in June. I did, and I've done
Mm-hmm.
virtual things since March in my Mary Kay
Mm-hmm.
world. So what it did was it forced us to get really good at virtual. And here's the other thing too, everybody. I've been doing virtual meetings with my unit for 10 years. That was nothing new. And I'm not the most techie person. And we were doing go-to meetings. We were doing video customer things. We started that way before this happened. So I was kind of on that bandwagon. But what was a challenge, Gabby, was to get a unit that was not doing these things, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so me as their director and their leader was navigating how are we going to do this and facilitate these things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like anything that out of something challenging, there's always a silver lining, and good things can come from that, because the
Mm-hmm.
reality is, yes, I'm reaching people that I have not reached because I'm having virtual parties and I'm getting more out of town customers. And
Mm-hmm.
and my consultants are learning more about product. They're getting better by being involved more in listening to, to me and a couple of my other top consultants. We run this private page together. So it was a challenge. We almost, I think everybody was kind of frozen, but we have moved on, and we have thrived. We have
Mm-hmm.
absolutely thrived because we're still different. I'm still old school, meaning, my motto is that no one will ever waste their time or money with me. They can do that other places, and these other places are going away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of the fact we're an American company. The manufacturing facility, it's right there in Dallas. I was there last year when we were able to
Mm-hmm.
go there. It's an American success story. It's a personal relationship with somebody. It's not just like, here, bye. So that,
Yeah.
like you said, I'm attracted to Mary Kay because I wanted to be an advisor, a consultant, someone. I wanted to be in that amen corner to make their life better. Same thing with the fitness world, to make that woman confident,
Yes.
whether it's her fitness life or her own personal beauty life, because the confident woman, as you and I both know, can do
Mm-hmm.
anything. A confident
Mm-hmm.
woman can do anything. And I believe that.
Amen, sister.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Yeah. And you have clients all over the place. And you
Mm-hmm.
still have clients. I mean, I still
Mm-hmm.
I still buy my Mary Kay products from you, and I still use them to this day, and I love them. They're easy, they're great. And you send them and ship them immediately. So,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you first moved, I thought, "Oh no, who am I going to get my Mary Kay products from?"
I
You're like,
know.
"I will send them to you. It's not a problem. We can handle this." And
Yep.
so, yeah, I'm so glad to hear that you're thriving. And I agree with you that sometimes out of something negative comes
Mm-hmm.
a silver lining. And I'm finding with these stories and interviews that I'm doing that there is a silver lining for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't ever give up hope. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for you to kind of, see that light at the end of the tunnel, but it's there. And you did mention something else before about your one of your husbands, that he said something to you and it clicked for you,
Mm-hmm.
something clicked for you. But it's that negativity, you almost needed that
Yeah.
negativity to push you to
Yes.
do something different. I'm starting to see that there's a lot of truth to that statement. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you do need a
Yes,
little,
you
just,
do.
it's kind of that thing where you kind of fall on your face and you dust off your knees and you're like, I'm just going to try and do it again, you
That's
know?
right.
So this is really great. And you've also, before COVID, have made a DVD. Do you have a copy of it or a picture of
I
it with you
do.
right now?
I do.
Yeah, where is it? Show everyone.
Show them.
Yeah, so she's let's see it. There it is. Beauty Rock Fitness.
Because
And
beauty
it'll kick
rocks
your butt.
inside and out. Woohoo!
Yes, yeah, inside and out. And it'll kick your butt. And it's all body weight exercises,
Mhm.
yoga and Pilates inspired and body weight exercises. It's really good stuff. And you can get it on Amazon, correct?
That's right.
Yes. So what we'll do, so if you can right now, Lisa, if you could just tell people your website and ways that they can get a hold of you. We'll also put that in the description below so people can easily get a hold of you if
Sure.
they have questions about Mary Kay, if they want some, fitness related items,
Mhm.
and they can contact you. So how can we get a hold of you?
Sure. My personal cell is 757-286-2603. I do have an alternate text line only that once my customers are my customers, they do get text from my second line. And then my
Mhm.
website with Mary Kay is marykay.com/lbauer, BAUER1, and the number one. You can send me a message. We have Customer Night
Mhm.
Live every Thursday night, East Coast time. I am in Chesapeake, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia Beach area.
Mhm.
Navy's here. Okay. That's why. So every Thursday night, East Coast time, I'm on live at 7:30. And
Yeah.
you can video chat. I'm great at picking out color, foundation matching. I'm great at reading people's skin.
Yes,
So
you
yeah,
are.
it's a good way. You can always, get a hold of me through any of those channels. And, like I said, like Gabby said, I think fitness and beauty, it's all combined. It's attitude too. It's having a positive attitude, getting through the
Mhm.
situation. That's another issue. All is
Mhm.
keeping positive and not going down. And I heard some women at the beginning, and I think this is an important thing to say today, is that
Mhm.
well, I'm just slopping around the house, and I don't really need to, do anything to myself. Don't go down that rabbit hole, y'all.
Mm-mm.
That rabbit hole
Mm-mm.
is terrible, and it will lead to
Mhm.
depression, and it will lead
It
also
will.
to being treating other people badly in your life, because when you're miserable, you want to make everyone else miserable.
It's
And so
true.
it's really important that you keep yourself up. And I think in the beginning when this happened, like Gabby, a lot of people, well, I just don't do anything to myself. And not all my, now my I'd say that my really tight customers, they were in the camp of like, oh no. But I'm telling you,
Mhm.
if you get in that camp of like, not going to do
Mhm.
anything. I don't need to do anything in my hair. I don't need to wash my face. And well, you're just going to just completely fall apart.
Mm.
How are you going to come
Yeah.
out of that? Are you going to thrive, or just, you're not even surviving? So I think it's
You're right.
really
You're not doing
important.
either.
Women have a tendency to get depressed. And
Mhm.
because we worry about a lot of things, we feel responsible for a lot of things. And remember, the
Mhm.
most important, I was taught this in Mary Kay, y'all. You take care of you first,
Mhm.
your husband second, and your kids third. And I know some people are going to go, oh, it's called the oxygen mask principle. When you get in an airplane, whenever that day will be, okay, you put the oxygen mask on you first, not your child.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you take care of your man, you two are happier for the children. Okay. So a
Mhm.
lot of people have this backwards today. What are their priorities? Children, children,
Mhm.
children. And
Mhm.
um, I just saw a text message today that I was kind of horrified at. You can't even control a 2-year-old. Okay. I won't go into that, but I'm just like, really? I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
this 2-year-old's running her life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. So you
Yeah.
need to take care of you. And that's super important with
Yes.
your workouts. And you've got to
Mhm.
do it. And you may not feel like it's nice, but you're going to have to mentally toughen up
Mhm.
and do it anyway. I mean, it's really true. The only person, no one else is going to do it for y'all. No one else is going to do
That's
your
right.
fitness for you. Take care of yourself.
That's right. And you have to take care of yourself or you won't be available to take care of
That's
other
right.
people. And
That's
there is
right.
an importance to, there's something to be said about getting up every day, taking a shower, getting dressed, even if you're not going anywhere. I live in California and everything is back to, you can't go out, you got to stay home, you got to hunker down. And we've been doing that since March. So for me, it's not really that big of a deal. I go out for my essentials. I do everything from home. My husband works from home. My kids are at home. But we still have to get dressed.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
still put on my necklace. I still do my hair. I still put on jeans. I don't sit in my workout clothes all day
No,
long. I don't want to. I don't want to sit in my workout clothes all day long. I put on clothes. And even though I'm just sitting in my house, I am dressed as if I'm going to go out.
that's right.
So it makes a big difference mentally. I'm not trying
Absolutely.
to impress anybody. I'm trying to keep me happy.
That's
And
right.
if you feel good in your clothes,
That's right.
this is the fitness part. If you
That's
feel
right.
good in your clothes, you will feel mentally well. If your clothes are tight, you've gained a few pounds, you start not feeling good about yourself. So
It's
you need to start
absolutely.
doing things to make yourself feel good from the inside out. You know, if making you feel good is putting your my friend calls puts it on her
My
putting on her
faith.
face.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
putting her face on. She does that all every day, puts on her face. And but
Hmm.
it makes you feel good. You know,
Hmm.
that's those are the things that you have to do to almost trick your mind and into being happy because that's we need a lot of that. We need a lot more joy. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you for saying all those things. Thanks for sharing your story. I really loved having you on here. I love having you as my Mary Kay consultant because I haven't just called you just for face wash and stuff. There have been times where I was like, can you please help me with makeup? And you've helped me in GoToMeeting. You've helped me
That's
pick
right.
out stuff and makeup and sent it to me. So
Mhm.
I do appreciate that. So if you need any Mary Kay products, you want to get her DVD, you can click on the links below and you'll be able to reach Lisa and all her great beauty wisdom. So thank you again for being on here and we'll see you guys next time on Gabbing with Gabby.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.